4, 3, 2, we're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It's currently 8:03 a.m. It is 72 degrees out today, and I believe we have a high of 86. Man, it is hot. It is muggy out. I walked outside this morning, and I just got hit by that sticky, muggy sensation when I walked out the door. I was like, whoa, I'm already feeling gross. I just stepped outside. So it's going to be an interesting day today. So, ladies, you're probably going to have a rough time with your hair if you spend a lot of time working on your hair instead of just throwing it in a bun or a ponytail. So sorry for you if you worked hard this morning. But with that high of 86 today, it's going to be warm. It's going to be muggy. We got about a 40% chance of rain. Looks like the skies could open up any second. Good news is I don't think we are in a severe tornado watch area today. That's actually moved on past us to the Arkansas, southern Illinois areas today. So good for us. However, there could still be a slight chance for some bad weather and potential tornadoes. So don't throw it out your mind, but it's nowhere near the events that we were experiencing on Monday. So good news for us. So that's good. Now, traffic conditions going into Tulsa. Man, they are pretty fair right now. Like, there's no real traffic congestion even over there by the 76th Street on-ramp. So if you haven't left yet and you're getting ready to commute into Tulsa, it's looking pretty good for you. So enjoy your commute in and drive safe. Now, as far as upcoming events in Owasso, I don't think anything's really changed on the calendar, Chad, so we don't really need to...
No, nothing at all. I'll pull it up just really fast, but yeah, it's Popcorn and Perks will be on Thursday for Owasso Chamber, and Owasso Isms only has the Children's Super Safety event with your local police and fire, and that's it.
Okay.
And that's on the 11th, by the way. And that's all I've got.
Good deal. All right, so we'll push right on into more.
I guess one last thing. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Thunder won last night.
Yeah, of course.
Thunder won the first game of their series against the Mavericks, so everyone should get pumped for that.
Absolutely, yeah. We were watching the game over at Buffalo Wild Wings last night. We did our sports show, and we did my buddy's hunting podcast here, and then after that we went over and went to B-Dubs and watched that game, and they were looking good. They were playing well together as a team and just doing very well, even though, like I said, again, we cannot sleep on this team. They're good. They're really good. So OKC's got to keep up this momentum, and maybe if we get lucky, we can sweep them, but I think this is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. So best of luck to the Thunder as we go into the next game. It'll be Game 2 coming up on Thursday. So here we go. Let's go Thunder. Now, let's go on to more national it's also a local issue thing too. So, Chad, can you pull up that video of that guy interviewing an illegal immigrant? And it's actually in Denver is where he's interviewing this. But
absolutely,
yeah. So, if you want to know why your insurance rates keep going up, like why they're up 30, like there's a lot of reasons, but a big reason is we've talked about this before, is illegal immigration. A huge reason for the increase in your insurance prices is illegal immigration, specifically under the uninsured motorist clause of your policy. There are basically twice as many illegals in the country now, not just in the country, I mean, in our state specifically, but there's twice as many of them as there were before Biden took office. So you're going to watch this video that Chad has pulled up, and it's going to be of a guy just interviewing women going, how did you get a car? Are you allowed to have a car? So he's just asking her a bunch of specific questions, and she's just going to answer honestly. I mean, so whenever you're ready, Chad, you can just play the video and...
You got it. And playing now.
¿Aquí?
Sí, ese es mi auto.
Ah, va. ¿Y cómo podrían conseguir un auto?
¿Cómo podríamos conseguir? Pues la verdad, con mucho esfuerzo hemos reunido para poder comprarnos el auto.
¿Y con
Might do some
papeles?
translating for us,
No.
Chad.
No, porque nosotros
No, they can't
acá
get
el
driver's license
inmigrante
because
pues
they're immigrants,
somos
but
como
she
que
has
un
a
poco
car.
complicados con los papeles
It's
y esas
complicated
cosas.
to get
Pero
papers and
pueden
things like
manejar
that.
sin
But you
papeles,
can't drive
sin
without a
licencia.
license, the
Sí,
guy asked
pues
her. Yes,
siempre y
that's
cuando
right.
con
But if
precaución
you can
porque es
drive
que
as long as
si,
you're cautious.
o sea, si no se maneja bien, pues
Because
tenemos
if we have,
problemas con la
if we have
autoridad.
do
No
bad
license, no
driving,
problem. They
we'll
will
have
get.
problems with authorities.
They got a nice car too. They got a nice little Toyota. Su auto aquí.
And that's literally it. I mean, this lady, they're all driving cars without, which, I mean, we already all knew this,
Yeah.
but they're driving uninsured. And this is part of the problem of what we were talking about of why insurance prices keep going up is because illegal immigrants are driving, getting into accidents with you. They don't have insurance. They'll flee the scene of the accident. Sometimes, they won't or they're not able to because the vehicle can't move
Or it's
whatever.
totaled.
Yeah, or it's totaled. But if they flee the scene and they don't have insurance and the police don't catch them, they're not paying for it.
Right.
It's all coming out of your insurance. And, it's bad enough that we already have American drivers who are uninsured, but all this is doing is guaranteeing that there's even more uninsured drivers. This is why another unforeseen consequence of illegal immigration in this case, it's causing your insurance rates to go up. We're losing resources, groceries, the right groceries are going up. There's more people are increasing in the area, which causes more of our groceries to disappear. So need more supply, have a higher demand, and don't have nearly as much supply, so prices go up. That is how economics works. If there's a low supply and a high demand, price goes up. If there is a high supply and a low demand, price goes down. That is how economics works. I don't know why it's always so hard for people to assume that. Everyone just assumes we have infinite number of resources. No, we have a finite number of resources, and the less there are, the more expensive they are. The more there are, the less expensive they are.
Yeah.
It's not hard to grasp these concepts, but for some reason, everyone seems to think America has unlimited resources.
Yeah.
We do not.
So I have these conversations all the time. You have people call in and be like, why are my auto insurance rates going up? I didn't get in a wreck. I didn't do anything wrong. I always pay my premium. Yes, well, this is why. Even if you personally never get into a wreck, people inside our book of business get into wrecks. And people inside our book of business have gotten into wrecks with more illegal immigrants, have gotten into wrecks. So guess what? That means you're paying for a non-at-fault accident that you shouldn't be on the hook for. Their liability insurance, these illegal immigrants' liability insurance, is supposed to pay for your injuries and your vehicle repair. But guess what? There's a lot of them in the state now. And not just in our state. It's all over the nation. But like I said, we're talking about a local problem here. This is a local problem for you. This is your problem. This is why you should be against this. You're mad about the cost of living going up. You're mad about your insurance rates going up. This is what you should be mad about. The more people that you have that come here illegally, the more and bigger your chances are of you bumping into these people and being involved in a wreck with them. Period. Your policy is going to reflect the premium and the risk that comes into the state.
And some of those risks aren't exactly your fault.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, for instance.
And I can't tell you, I mean, how many people you talk with on the phone here that get absolutely butthurt when their premium goes up. It's like, I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, you're right, you didn't. But there are other people in the state. When people do stuff illegally, it affects you.
Yeah.
It's always going to affect you. Yeah. They are going to be reflected in the census data from voters. They're going to be reflected into the insurance prices as well, because you are interacting with these people, whether you want to or you don't. You're going to get into wrecks with these people. And if it's not you, it'll be your neighbor. Or it'll be someone else who's inside the very same book of business that you're insured with. This is just the nature of things. So if you're wondering why insurance just keeps going up and up and up and up, your neighbors, you're all getting into wrecks with people who don't have insurance. Are all of them illegal immigrants? No. But that's going to be a huge factor. Like that video right there shows you that they don't care about the law. One, they came here illegally. That's one law broken. So if they broke one law to get here, what makes you think they care about breaking any other laws to stay here? You're always going to pay the price for when people do something wrong.
Yep. 100% true.
Does this mean... I can't even make that argument. Does it mean they're bad people? Yeah, actually, yeah, it does. Because it's hurting you. Them being here is hurting you.
It always has, and it always will.
Mm-hmm.
This is the unforeseen consequences that we always talk about. Like, you don't think of your insurance. No one thinks of their insurance. No one thinks of the gas prices. No one thinks of the grocery prices. They're just like, oh, we should help. We should do something. Not realizing that you're going to affect your life like 10, 20 years down the road a lot worse, make your life a lot worse, and your kids. You know, the climate change people always advocate like, there's not going to be a world to live in the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
And this is what you're doing. You're making it basically unaffordable. I mean, it's already hard enough for millennials and Gen Z to buy a house.
Yeah.
As is. I mean, look what you're doing. You're going to basically make it to where no one will ever own a house besides you.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts, folks. Like, people just can't wrap their heads around how everything is going to affect you. Everything that happens is going to affect you. Look, your rates are going to go up this year or next year. You've seen how many tornadoes we've had in the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks. Yeah. That's going to affect your homeowner's policy and your auto policy because, like I said, people are filing comp claims on their cars as well as their homes.
Yep.
So guess what? We are already like Barnesdall being wiped out, Bartlesville being wiped out. We're all going to see that price go up next year. All of you are sitting there going, oh, it's going to be fine. No. Your insurance rates are going up regardless because we live in Oklahoma. We already have the worst weather in the nation. We already have the largest, worst tornadoes ever recorded. Guess what? That price is going up next year. On top of the fact we get 1 million extra illegal immigrants every year. So not all those million are going to come here to Oklahoma, but a big chunk of them will. And that just means that you're going to interact with them more. You're going to have the potential to get in a car wreck with them more. That's why people always view insurance, they look at it the wrong way. They look at it as a Ponzi scheme that, you know, if you never use it, I'm getting screwed. But it's the reason you buy insurance because it's an investment and a risk you can't afford not to have in the event that something happens. Because guess what? If you don't have liability, if you don't have collision and comp, it's illegal not to have liability. That's what's required by the state. But if you don't have collision and comp on your car and you get into a wreck with an illegal immigrant, your car ain't getting fixed. You're out of pocket that cost. At least if you have collision or comprehensive on there, whichever the way the insurance company is going to make you file it, at least you're only out of pocket of $500 or $1,000 to fix the car instead of being on the hook completely for it. So that's what it is. You, the responsible person, suffers. The people break the law, don't. They'll leave that crappy beater car that they bought on the side of the road and walk away from it. And they'll be like, well, there's no paper trail on this car. Somebody just paid cash for it, took it, and never changed the tags. And the police are very, very laissez-faire about prosecuting these people because they don't have money anyway.
No, they can't.
They're going to put They're going to put them in the prison system and then or jail, and then they're already we have to pay for their meals. You're like, well, screw that. We'll just let them go out and do their thing.
The general rule of thumb is with police, if they can't make money off you in the court system, you're probably not going to get arrested or fined, as we've seen.
Yeah. We do have a two-tier justice system. You have a wealthy obviously can gain the justice system because they have enough money to pay for the most expensive lawyers. The middle class is always the class that suffers. Always. Because the people who are the lowest income class or the criminal class, not even the lower income class, just the criminal class, they're not going to show up. They're not going to go to court. There's a two-tier justice system for them because if they can't pay, they're getting a lawyer paid for them by the state or the city. So we're on the hook for paying for their salary. And that's assuming they show up to court at all. The police know that they're just going to stiff the civil court cases and they're going to stiff the criminal court cases if they can. This is just the way it is. You, the taxpayer, will always be the one that suffers. This is why you should be very, very against illegal immigration. And don't give me this crap. There are no illegal immigrants. There's no such thing as illegal people. Well, if you don't have borders, you don't have a nation. If you don't have laws, you don't have a country.
And as we've talked about in previous episodes, some cultures are better than others. The way that they treat certain individuals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certain minority groups, whatever you want to call it, whatever group you want to talk about.
Absolutely. But that's enough insurance talk for today. I just hope that helps you kind of better grasp and better understand why you're seeing such a dramatic increase in insurance. And that's just one factor of why insurance rates are going up. One factor. There's a lot more. So let's push on to our next subject, and what I believe we were going to show the. Again, I know everybody's sick of hearing Israel Palestine, but there'll be a light at the end of this tunnel on today. So, but there was a group of pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine protesters who vandalized a World War II monument.
World War I.
Well, excuse me, World War I monument. Now, I don't know if these, like I said, this is why these people don't care. Like, they clearly hate America. They don't actually care about Palestine. Like, what does vandalizing a World War I veterans monument have to do with Palestine? Like, seriously. It makes zero sense to vandalize a veterans monument for World War I in regards to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. So these people are just vandals. So go ahead and roll this video whenever you're ready, and we'll just...
It's rolling.
Burning an American flag. Wrote Gaza on it. Crappily, mind you, as well. It's like those protesters that spelled Palestine wrong at New York or Columbia.
Yep. And that's it, man. I mean, that's literally it. All they are is just crapping on the legacy of America.
Yeah. World War I had nothing to do with the Israeli. I mean, Israel wasn't even a state in World War I.
Yep.
Said again, these people don't care. They don't know history. They don't know anything about the current conflict. They just, this is what they do. And I go ahead and pull up that other video of the guy from the UAE warning warning Westerners about Islamic extremism, essentially.
Got it. And you want me to go ahead and play it?
Yeah, play it.
All right, you got it.
And let me say this in English so you can understand what I'm saying.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right. There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of lack of decision-making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance. And let me say this in English so you can understand what I'm saying.
I will say it in English so you Westerners understand. This was 2017. This guy gave us this warning. We are dealing with the very same radicals that he warned us about back then. It might not be the type of extremism we thought we were going to be dealing with, but I mean, these people, they support radical ideals. They support radical ideologies. and again, burning flags and vandalizing World War I monuments. These people don't care about our country. They don't care about anything. They don't even really care about the Palestinians. Go ahead and pull up that Babylon Bee image, because it just keeps hammering home the point. Where is all the outrage for the Uyghur Muslims that are being kept and mistreated in Chinese internment camps? If I wish the Muslim world would come up and stand up for these Uyghur Muslims who are being wrongfully persecuted in China. But again, they don't care. It's not about children dying. It's not about the mistreatment of Muslims. It's about the hatred of Jews.
Yep.
It's an ancient, long, old hatred that has existed in Islam as long as Islam has been a thing. So yeah, I mean, this. Go ahead and read the caption.
Yeah. Uyghur slaves struggling to keep up with demand for Palestinian headscarves.
It's funny, but it's sad because there is a grain of truth in this. These are the people who are suffering the most at the hands of a communist country, and they are Islamic. They are of the Muslim faith. None of the Muslim world cares about these people. Again, the Muslim world doesn't care about Palestine either. Again, if they cared, why isn't Egypt opening its borders for the Palestinian? Why isn't Jordan opening their borders to the Palestinians? We've showed the pictures of the border walls between Egypt and Gaza. I mean, it looks like they're trying to keep King Kong locked up in there, except it has razor wire all over it too. They can't stand each other in these cultures.
Yeah. They don't care. That's the thing. They don't care about the Palestinian people. They care about using the Palestinian people as a political cudgel against Israel.
Yes.
And this is what people don't realize is because if they really cared, you're absolutely right. They would be like allowing their borders. Let these poor folks into our country. They don't care. They don't care. And nobody can convince me otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Until they start allowing the Palestinian refugees into their countries.
Yeah.
And that's the sad truth.
It is the sad truth. And I said, the people who are being persecuted and are really being mistreated by a alleged first world country, China, nobody cares about these people. Disney thanked the Uyghur concentration camps for keeping them safe when they filmed the movie Mulan. They knew that those people were being there and were wrongfully being imprisoned there. They're being indoctrinated. They're being re-educated. These are re-education and / concentration camps.
But speaking of which, can we just talk about how that Mulan movie was awful? Like
Mm-hmm.
the original cartoon version was
a masterpiece.
It was a masterpiece. She disguises herself as a man to take her father's place so he doesn't die in battle. And in the next one, in this live action one, she's a witch. And everyone dislikes her. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it takes away all the charm because they didn't want relationships to be had. They didn't want her to have a love story with her superior officer because that's not looked upon as kosher in China. You can't have a relationship with a subordinate in that culture.
Yeah.
But I mean
it also fits the whole, woke narrative of girl boss.
Yes.
Don't need no man.
Yeah, it does. So it's bad. I mean, China can't tell a good story to save their life if it doesn't involve ancient Chinese mythology. Yeah. I think the last really good thing, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was probably the last real decent film to come out of there.
I forget what it was. I remember somebody talking. It might have been Critical Drinker or somebody talking about how America understands China more than China
understands
with Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda is like the most popular movie in China.
Yeah.
And they didn't make it.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, they don't it's because communism doesn't create good culture. It can't. Because it doesn't reward individuality. It only rewards groupthink.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not good. So I think we have a solution, or I found a video that has a solution to the Israeli-Palestinian problem. So we'll end on a high note today, because again, I know that everyone's sick about talking about Israel-Palestine. I'm sick of it, but this video, it made me smile. So take a look at this, and whenever you're ready, Chad.
Yep, give me 1 second. Pulling it up now.
A breaking news alert. After days of discussions, world leaders have finally come up with a solution regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict. Let's listen in.
We will be giving both Israel and Palestine to the Scientologists. Our plan is simple. Neutralize this conflict with the most annoying religion.
And with this decision, both communities have agreed to leave without any resistance, citing that this land is no longer worth fighting for.
The only thing worse than bullets is living next to a Scientologist.
You cannot tolerate the intolerable. The Jews will be moving to their true Holy Land, Boca Raton, Florida. And with both opposing parties moving out in droves, notable members from the Scientology community have already begun moving in.
This feels right. It feels deserved. Both territories are now a safe haven for people not to be prosecuted for believing in the truth. Yes! Israel is ours.
Israel.
They're going to their true homeland, Boca Raton, Florida. Oh my gosh! But there you go, everyone. We have the solution to the Israeli-Palestinian problem. Scientology is the answer. Oh man, I love it. I love it. But yeah, that's. I figured we end on a funny high note today. That was a good piece of a good piece of video put together. So that's about all we've got for you today, everyone. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live, and this was the Morning Loop. We are signing off. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.